right. Once again, thank you for joining us at Camp Yarnsie. We would like to thank Crazy About Yarn for joining us today for a yarn dyeing demonstration, and we will give it away to the fabulous Sarah Jones.
Thank you. Okay. Bear with me while I turn everything on.
I'm excited.
Okay. And then that. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I'm Sarah from Crazy About Yarn, and as you can see in front of me, we will be doing some dyeing, which I'm very excited about. So I just released the collection of Alice in Wonderland, and I thought it would be a lot of fun to dye 2 of them to show you different techniques that I'm using. So I will be dyeing Alice and then also March Hare. So while I'm dyeing, I will be turning off the face camera because I'll be moving around a whole lot.
We can't. Have you moved off your face of your image yet? Because we can't see you yet. Sorry. 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 Do over.
That's okay. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Okay. Take your time. There's no rush.
There we go.
There you go. We see you.
I'm going to repeat all that. Hi, I'm Sarah from Crazy About Yarn. And I will be doing a dye demo for you guys. So I have, I have my new collection, Alice in Wonderland, that I'm very proud about because I challenged myself with it. I tried to make a cohesive collection that would you can mix and match with different color ways, so then you can make a beautiful piece with whatever you're wanting. And with this collection, which is on my website right now, it is a dye to order with a 6-week turnaround time. It will be open till I believe May 5th, and then I have 7 different yarn bases on the website that you can peruse and check out, and then you can order whichever colorway you want on whichever base you want, which I think is wonderful. So I am going to be dyeing Alice and then also March Hare. So let's get started with that. Bear with me.
It's all good. I'm excited. Is anyone else excited? No. Okay. Would you like for me to unmute them, Sarah, or do you want me to leave them muted?
I can't see text right now from Blue Jeans, unfortunately. So yes, if somebody would like to say something or ask a question, that would be great. If they could be unmuted, that would be wonderful.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're okay with them asking. That's all.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to start with Alice. So I'm going to grab the yarn and bring it up. So I know you can't see me right now, or you may see the top of my head. So I've pre-soaked yarn in water and then citric acid. And you want citric acid because with that, it's wet. It helps the dye hold on to the yarn hold on to the molecules of the dye. So with Alice, she has a lovely shade of yellow, and then she's a lovely shade of blue on one side, and then there's a wonderful white stripe in the middle. So how I do that is I dye it with 2 different trays, as you can see, because this one is just one big one. So I'm going to put the blue in here. Nope, that's right. Nope, there we go. It's blue. Okay, I'm going to give it a little mix. I should be wearing my gloves. Hold on. 1 second. Dye stains really badly. It will stain your skin, which you don't want. So you wear gloves.
I like your pink gloves, by the way.
Thank you. I have very, very small hands. So they were the smallest pair that I could find.
Oh, we should totally talk sometime. I have child-sized hands, so I can relate. It's hard to find gloves that fit.
So as you can see, I poured the blue, and then I'm pouring the yellow. Super pretty. Give it a little mix. Okay, now the tricky part. Does anybody have any questions so far? Yes, no?
If you would like to unmute yourself to ask a question, you're more than welcome to, but you do not have to. They're in deep thought.
I don't have a question, but I have a statement. The yellow dye looks amazing because it looks like it's flames flickering.
Yeah,
The way
it's
the
really
light
cool to
is
see
hitting it.
the dye entering the water and how it sort of plumes out and then all that kind of stuff. Okay. So bear with me while I do this. So we're putting half of it in here.
What yarn base are you using?
Sorry?
What yarn base are you using?
I'm using my sport weight. I wish I had the dimension, like the amounts on hand, but I do not.
You want me to look up for you on your website?
Okay, and then I'm moving this around.
Is it a superwash or non-superwash out of curiosity?
It is superwash. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's 100% merino superwash, and it is sport weight.
Is
And
there
these
anything
are
else?
15 grams each.
Oh, that's cool. Is there anything else in the water, or is it just the dye?
So when I was soaking the yarn, because I pre-soak the yarn in water to help it absorb the dye better when I'm dyeing, I do put citric acid in the water with the soaking yarn.
So it's in the pre-soak.
Yeah. Basically, so it helps the yarn attach to the dye faster. And I actually do have these on Bunsen burners. So the heat reacts with the dye and helps it bond to the yarn. So I'm going to turn these on.
And I'm including the link to Sarah's yarn bases as well as her shop in the chat.
I'm sorry about the fan. It's just the way it is. Can everybody still hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, we can't even hear the fan. You're good.
Yes? Okay, cool. Okay.
You hear the fan. We don't hear the fan.
Okay, perfect. Wonderful. So that's the first one. And then we're going to do March Hare as well, because I have to let this sit and cook for a while, and then we can add more colors to it, which will be a lot of fun. Before I do that, I'm going to bear with me.
You're totally fine.
Okay.
We're in your studio, so. Okay. So what is your favorite color, Sarah?
My favorite color is blue. Love blue. Obviously from my logo and the background color, I love blue. So I just wanted to show Alice all dyed up to give you a view. So if I undo it, see it better then.
Yeah, let's see the real girl.
So you have the beautiful yellow, and then there's several different colors of yellow in it. You have the white. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get used to my angles. The white, and then it goes to the beautiful blue afterwards. Then there's a strip of black in the yellow for her hairband, which I think is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you happen to look at the rest of the yarn for the collection, Alice is the only one that looks like this, where it's very straightforward for blocks of color. The reason why I did that was she is the only one visiting Wonderland else from there. So I wanted to make her more individual and by herself. So a lot of the other characters are a lot more random with their coloring. Okay, so I'm going to switch back. Bear with me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put the other yarn in. Okay. So this is 100% merino superwash on single ply, and it's worsted weight. I love the single ply. It's just so pretty. I have a thing for single ply apparently, but it's great. Just bear with me. I'm just reorganizing the yarn so it falls the way I want it to. Can't do this once I start pouring the dye. Just gonna literally move it around the way I like it. Okay. So this is March hare. I'll show after I pour. Does anybody have any other questions?
So,
Just keep on going.
remind me, you were inspired by the original Alice in Wonderland, correct? The Disney version, or the?
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing over my fans. 1 second, I'm going to turn up my volume.
Okay.
Bear with me. Can you say that question again?
I'm sorry. I just want to clarify. So this collection was inspired by the original Alice in Wonderland, correct? The
So
Disney.
the cartoon from the 1950s or 60s, yes.
Okay.
Not from the Tim Burton one. So it has a more of a retro look to it, but that's the Alice in Wonderland I grew up in. I love so much. So that's what I went with.
That Alice is incredible. I love that you included the hairband.
I'm
You're
sorry.
so
I'm going to turn
creative.
my volume a little bit more. Here we go. Having a hard time hearing those fans. Can you repeat that?
Sorry, I was going to say I really liked how you incorporated the hairband for Alice. I thought it was really
Yes.
creative.
Thank you. That's the last step, and I don't know if we'll get that far, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring March hare. So pretty straightforward. We're going to just literally pour right over top. So you're going to see dye spreading. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is. They will blend. Just part of dyeing. Pressing it to make sure I get all the little white bits. Adhesive. Two more colors. Ooh,
Woohoo! Woohoo!
beautiful red, red, red.
Ooh, look how rich that is. Oh, that's fabulous.
I love color.
Oh,
I love color.
Kareen just commented that
Yes.
she finally found her way on. Woo! You dye that yarn, Sarah. Thank you for joining us,
It's
Kareen.
one of my good friends that has been my cheerleader basically through this whole dye process. And she was going to join me this weekend, but with COVID restrictions getting worse in Ottawa, Canada, she's not able to come over. So cheering on from silence, which is great. Okay. And this one on too. So if you look over back at Alice, you can start to see that the yellow around the corners is starting to dissipate. Like it looks lighter. So if I take this and you look, it's not as dark as it was before. So that means the yarn is the dye is being absorbed by the yarn. Pretty darn cool. Like magic. And blue will take longer because it's dark blue. You can see now the bottom. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Not if it's still really, really dark. But it is starting to absorb. And I wanted to show off March hare. Yarn all night.
That's pretty. What does everyone think about that? Anyone want to comment or thoughts or?
That's lovely. That's like a Phoenix sunset.
It reminds me a lot of like a fall palette, which is great. But if you look at the March hare from the Disney movie cartoon, he had a lot of oranges and browns and then bright yellow hair. So I'll start from the top. So you have orange. Oh, my arms are brown. Then it goes into a red, and then even so they have to sit there for a while and die, basically. So if anybody has any questions or anything, I'm happy to. Sorry, my computer's over there, so that's why I was looking over there. Yeah. This is dyeing in a nutshell. It can be very messy. We're in my basement right now, in my laundry room. At the rest house best. Yeah.
Can I have my knitting, please? Oh, did I lose my...
Okay. So the next step that I will be doing for Alice is I have two other kinds of yellow that I will be randomly but they are going to slowly cook. So I've been dyeing for less than a year. I took a dyeing class a couple of years back and fell in love. I decided, why not try something new, and addicted, and from there, and then like it. So I selling yarn.
Funny how that works.
You did an excellent job, though. It's beautiful. It's very
Thank
different.
You. Yeah. So if we look at the March hare, you can start to see that the dye is being absorbed. But we want to wait till it's fully cooked, and then we will be flipping it over, dyeing the back, because there's always portions of it that would still be white if we left it alone. Yeah. Unfortunately, this part of the process does take a bit of time. Corinne, do you have any questions?
I was just saying, I was just talking to Lindsay. I'm like, oh, I can actually put my voice on. That's great. So,
Yeah.
I was just saying, look at you finally using your apron
Yes. Yes.
for dyeing. No, I mean, it's fun for me to see it actually, like, you actually dyeing it, because you usually tell me how you do it, but I don't always see how you do it. So it's cool.
It is.
Well, at least the
pretty
Alice one is new.
Yes, it was a long process to figure this all out for all the different colors.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pick just a couple. I always look more than I yeah. So there's 16 different colorways. There's 8 different variegated ones, and then there are 8 semi-solids. Character, but with the semi-solids, they can be other ones.
Yeah, and they're really nice.
Hi, I'm sorry, I joined in late, but did you show the type of dyes that you use?
So I did not, but I can. So I do use Dharma dye, which is an acid dye. So with an acid dye, you have to use an acid to get it to dye to bond with yarn. So before this, I soaked all the yarn in water so they will absorb the dye better. In that water, I did put citric acid. So when I pour the dye over the yarn, it helps yarn absorb the dye faster, more consistently. So or sort of white spots in the middle of the yarn between. But as you can see, I tried very hard not to stain my hands, but it's very hard not to. It's at least I haven't stained my face yet by dyeing, but it's usually my hands. It will go away within a couple days, but you don't want to do that because skin is an organ. So if we go back over to here, not sure if you guys can see it, but
Yeah, it's starting to go.
Starting to get lighter and lighter. So the yarn is absorbing dye. I think it's just blank yarn. The blue is a lot lighter. White yarn and then colors on.
So how did you get into dyeing, out of curiosity?
I took a class like 3 years ago on natural dyeing, where we would take natural things from outdoors, like plants or bugs, and that are ground up into a powder, and you would dye the yarn that way. But from taking that class, I realized that I wanted to be able to do this, where I wanted to be able to do variegation and have multicolors on the yarn instead of just one straight color, which is that with natural dyeing. Yeah. I also did. Sorry, I am a avid crocheter. I've been crocheting for, my goodness, how old is my daughter? So about 8 years now.
2 years, huh?
Yeah.
For too long.
I decided that I wanted to make her a baby blanket and started crocheting and learned on YouTube. And then went over to one of my friends who knits and crochets, and she showed me when I needed a little bit of help. Yeah, I love color. I love color, and I love being able to put it on the yarn, which is cool. And then having the freedom to be able to design things the way I see it in my head. At the time when I buy yarn, it's not always the way I want it to look or get that specific shade. Well, I have found this very rewarding. When I was starting out, I had a lot of friends asked me to make custom colorways, which I also did for Corinne for her birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And which was a lot of fun. For a while, I was doing just this. And with the Alice in Wonderland collection, I did try a lot of new. I can't show them all to you because some of them take a really dye over top of each other. Cook the yarn once, and then you can cook the yarn again with a different dye and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of layering, and it takes. We look at this. It is. I promise it's getting lighter.
It looks
I
like
can
it.
tell.
And with dyeing yarn, I tend to pick big projects. I can attest to this. With crocheting,
No.
I am still finishing it. I have to sew in all the ends. Not my favorite part, but I have crocheted a gigantic twin size blanket for my daughter. That's a blanket that's corner to corner. That was a lot of fun. The ends, which is not fun. And then about a year ago, no, it would be more than a year ago, 2019, my other best friend, Lauren, was getting married, and she asked me to make her wedding dress. So if you actually go to my Instagram, the wedding dress with her in it, sorry.
It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, that's loud.
Yeah, Lauren's
Sorry.
Oh,
It was my wedding.
Whoa. Can you back up just a little bit from the microphone? I'm gonna turn your microphone back on, but you can back up just a little bit.
Me.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
That's okay. It was just hard to hear you. It just was loud. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, no, it was absolutely stunning. She was nervous about it. It turned out phenomenal. And
Lauren.
wow.
Yes, I made you the wedding dress, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It took me 10 months to make. Went on timeout a whole lot, but it was a lot of fun to make. And I also kept telling myself that she couldn't walk down the aisle naked, so it kept me going as well. But yeah, she looks beautiful in it.
It was really special, though. I like that.
It is.
Fun.
I like that also you started dyeing yarn and you're like, I'll make a business out of it. And then you're also like, but I've got all this wall of yarn I already have.
I know.
How do I keep myself from adding to it? You managed to do pretty good.
All right, can you all hear me still?
Yes.
Now I can, yeah.
Okay. So I'm noticing with the March hair that it's not completely absorbing the color like the way I want it to. So I'm just adding some more citric acid.
Sarah, I've never asked you this, but is there such a thing as putting too much?
Not that I know of. I do wash it afterwards. The trick is that with certain dyes, they do take a while to absorb, or they take the full amount. Okay. I think I wash it afterwards. With certain dyes, with them being heated up, the water won't go completely. Have to actually let it cool down for the yarn to all the dye, like indigo, which is actually one of the colors on the shirt. The beautiful, beautiful deep blue, but it's finicky, which is fine. But dye can be finicky.
What do you mean by finicky?
That it certain colors, like purples, um, don't always want to exhaust. What exhaust means is what in the yellow that you're seeing here. So the water is exhausted of dye and the yarn has absorbed it.
Okay, thank you.
So there may be extra dye particles that are just off of the yarn after it cools down and you can touch it again. So when you wash, it takes a lot longer to wash because you have to get rid of all that extra dye that's just sitting there. Because if I didn't wash it, you would receive it. Then you could stain your hands and stain something that you
like, you value,
like
yeah.
that's white and that you didn't want to get stained and all that kind of stuff. So I take all these extra precautions and make sure that it is completely cooked, and if it needs longer to cook, then I give it the time it needs. So the yarn has been able to have the time to. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate it.
And like as Sarah's told me over time, because I also like like bright colors like she does. Some of the really fun colors are like the worst ones to exhaust.
Yes. Yes, it can be. Okay. So the yellow is basically absorbed. So I have these wonderful syringes that I'm gonna take a little bit of dye that I have. I'm literally just going to start injecting it in random places all over the yarn to give it effect so it looks like hair. Because hair is not one color. It looks better with attention. One yellow. And yes, I have two yellows. Why not? Makes it a little bit more fun. Put it where I think it needs it.
So just a little dash here and there, I guess. Is there any
Yeah.
rhyme or reasons to where you like? Are you looking for anything particular for where you put it, or are you just kind of randomly?
I randomly put them in.
Okay.
Just how I feel about it at that point. So it, yeah, no rhyme or reason. Just I put the first layer of the color in. Hasn't been, and I still want to show some of. So it gives it a good depth of yellow, a darker yellow. Gives it some nice red. Same thing with the blue at that point. So I'm just bear with me. The little jar with a syringe, and literally going to do the same thing that I did with the yellow. Because as you can see with the blue, if I move it, look at that. almost clear. It's so cool because it was so dark before. I find it so neat how the yarn can absorb this dye. And then I'm going to put more on it. Because why not?
Woohoo!
Yes.
And then with the randomness, because I know there's 3 skeins in here, I am trying to hit all 3 skeins. So then they're all having, like, they won't be exactly the same, of course, because with hand dyed yarn, there is going to be variation. And that's dyed. There's no way around it. Just depending on where the yarn was sitting, if it's on the inside, if it's on the outside. Yeah, makes it even more special. I just also think it's really cool that someone can take my yarn and then make a beautiful project with it. The hat, a scarf, crop top. It's just, I think it's just really, really cool that I helped in someone's creative process, something unique.
With learning your colorways, have you ever found that some of those colors break?
I didn't really. Well, some of the purples in the Cheshire Cat are a little bit more finicky, but not completely. When you mean break, what do you mean? Sorry.
No, don't need to apologize. What I mean by break is that you end up with colors in there that weren't originally what you thought they were going to be.
Okay. So I have had that happen if I've tried to do speckling. I haven't really done a whole lot of speckling yet because I have had that issue where I try to speckle with dry dye off of the wet yarn, kind of like this. So it's a very, very low immersion instead of it being a higher immersion like this. Depending on how the manufacturer mixed the dye, it could be several colors mixed together so that I don't get the color I want. So that's the only time I've had breaking, but I haven't really done that a whole lot. I have had that issue.
How do you fix the color if that happens? If it's an undesirable color?
I don't sell it. So I do a bunch of experimenting before I put anything on the website to make sure I can do it again and that it has the outcome that I want. At some point, those ones that are not what I desired may go on sale at some point at a discounted price because they weren't what I was looking to achieve. But a lot of the stuff that I did sell at the beginning was a lot of experiments, and so Corinne and I coined it Crazy Creations, where I would mix different colors and on. Early on, what I did is I bought all the colors. I can't pick just a couple. It's like, how do I pick these 2 greens, or how do I pick these 2 reds? They have 6 different reds, and they're all different shades, all different things. I use so many different reds in this, and orange. And you can't always create those colors by mixing colors together. So I made micro swatches, micro mini skeins, sorry. And I dyed all 83 colors that I had in a 1% and 2%. So then I have a physical way to look at the yarn dyed, so I know what I will achieve when I'm actually dyeing the yarn. It was a lot of work. It took me like a month, but it was well worth it. So a while ago, me and Corinne was helping me pick out colors for Alice in Wonderland. What I do at the beginning is pick a picture, and then I will go and make a color palette out of the colors that that picture, and then I'll print out that color palette, and then I take my physical mini schemes that I have, and I've labeled all of them with the name, numbers I've given them because they have numbers, numbered them because they didn't have them in color order. So I actually, in the video, you can see it behind me, was my big wall of yarn dye that had all my color samples in it. Helps me a lot when dyeing, so then I can quickly figure out what I want, mix the dye up, and then be able to. So if you look at, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna ask, do you have a favorite yarn to use, like fiber content?
Do I? So these are both 100% merino superwash. Alice is sport weight, and then March Hare is worsted weight single ply. I love this soft and bouncy. But if you do go to the website, I believe they did link earlier to the yarn base page, so you can see a list of all the yarns that I do carry. And
you can see that in the chat.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. And then with this collection, there are 16 different colorways that you can mix and match, and it is a pre-order that is open till May 5th. After that, this is going to be a 6-week turnaround time, so I have enough time to dye everything. But you can pick out of the 7 different yarn bases that I do have with the 16 different colorways and mix and match whatever you I think is wonderful. The way I was dyeing before is I was randomly picking yarn bases and dyeing it and hoping it would find its forever home. And most of them have, but I wanted to be able to give people more freedom to pick what they wanted for the project they had in mind, for the yarn base, and then get the colorway they wanted. So it is a pre-order, but with that, then we're able to do that. So, pretty well.
And so I know there are a couple of people, I'm sorry, who came in late. Would you mind kind of going over when the Alice in Wonderland collection will ship again in that?
Sure, of course. So the Alice in Wonderland should be shipping out mid-June.
Okay, thank you.
The pre-order will close May 5th, so it's a Wednesday at midnight. So getting your orders over for then, you do have time to figure out what project you want and then be able to order what you need for that. And then it will be about a 6-week turnaround time to dye everything up like this. Then everything should be shipping out by mid-June.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I did include the link to Sarah's shop as well in the chat again, just in case you missed the first time.
So for the people who were here late, bear with me. For you. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be so finicky. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Can you tell I'm Canadian? I apologize a whole lot. I don't need to, but I do. Okay. So I'm just going to go over Alice again. So you can see the very pale yellow that you can see the different shifts of it. beautiful white for her apron. Then I'm too short. The beautiful blue, and then you can see that the deeper bits of blue that go through it. I added the black hairband. I thought was a lot of fun. And then the reasoning for Alice, the way she is dyed, is as she is the only one visiting. So I made her more straightforward with how I dyed her. With 4 color blocks, and it's literally, I think, of a visual representation of Alice, because you have her hairband, the apron, and then all the other characters are a bit more random with their coloring, because they are part of Wonderland. Anybody have any other questions?
Deep thoughts, hopes and aspirations?
Not a question, but definitely I love your inspiration behind all of Alice and the Wonderland characters.
Thank
They're
you.
amazing.
I put a lot of thought into it, probably way too much, but this was my first cohesive collection, so I wanted that it made sense, at least to me, and I'm really, really proud of it.
Oh, I'm proud of you, son.
I'm really proud of it, and I can't wait to see what people. Really excited to see what other people. This gorgeous.
That has to be a fun part. Yeah, seeing what they create.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, either they post it on Instagram or on Facebook or send me emails with photos. Their finished product makes me just so happy that I've been able to help you with that creative journey of making something. So I would love to flip March hair. Oh, I think I can. Okay. No. I'm trying to, but unfortunately, there is still a whole lot of dye, these very, very dark red colors. So I just have to let it sit. Cook. But the plan for this one is once all the dye has absorbed, I would actually physically flip it. And then there will be white going through it. So then I have still about half of my dye for this, would be pouring it over. And so then we don't have any white spots. And then the next step for Alice is I would let this finish exhausting for both colors. Then I actually let it cool down completely, because the blue, when it's hot, likes to transfer on anything else, and I really don't want to get it on the yellow. Doesn't belong there. So then once it's cooled down, I will take another mason jar, like this guy, but fill with black. Then actually take a portion of the yellow, dip it in, and dye the black over top. But these all take time to do, and unfortunately I can't flip any of them because they're all still working. Ruin them.
Like a cooking show.
A very long
Going for
cooking
that.
show. These are a couple of the faster ones, but like Mad Hatter and Caterpillar, they are dyed with sections of the yarn. So they go from one section to 5 different things. So I have to dye those individually. So each section takes anywhere from 30 to 40 dye that one section, and then I have to move color like I would with this, which walked over. So it takes me about 2.5 hours to dye those two. So I couldn't show you those because you would see the first color, and that would be about it.
Well, we're going to see the rest of the collection tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Correct. Do a show and tell. Then I also have wonderful swatches, knitted and crocheted for all the colorways. Friend was very nice and knitted up all the colorways for me. She's still my friend, even though I gave her finger like meat. She had about a week and a half to get these all done, and she did it, and we're still friends, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I wanted to be able to have the swatches give you an idea of what they look like. Did the crochet as well today. They don't have crochet. Looks yeah, everything's just slowly cooking. And then you probably did notice I do use zip ties. They are reusable. It's just another way to be able to handle the yarn better. Keep them individual so that then when I dry them, I can. But yeah, it's a lengthy process, but I enjoy it. So it looks like we're just about out of time. So again, I'm Sarah from Crazy About Yarn.
And Sarah, I just sent you a message if you'd like to check just really quickly. Just wanted to
Sure.
make sure of one thing real quick before
Bear with me.
we're out of time. Sorry, guys. Hope everyone's having beautiful spring weather wherever you are. I'm curious if you'll drop in the chat where everyone is located, because I know we have people across the world. It's always fun to see. And sometimes, too, it's always funny to see people from your own town, too. It seems like a small world. So, we have Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Canada, Minnesota, New York, Canada, Wisconsin, Illinois, Massachusetts, Argentina, and Atlanta, Georgia. Sorry, I should add that too. Right. And I will let you handle that part. Miss Sarah, how would you prefer to do it today?
Is there a way to do like the
I have a number generator. We could do.
Yeah.
Or we could even do, based on the marketing, what your least favorite color is, etc. Whatever you'd like to ask. We're discussing the favorite word that everyone likes to use, which is Yarnsie? Yarn?
Yeah, Yarnsie.
Giveaway.
Yes, sorry.
You're good. I was just playing with everyone there. So, but what would you like to do today, Sarah?
The giveaway is you will be getting one of the skeins that I have been dyeing for Alice in Wonderland in the sport weight. So we can do, maybe if everybody, if we could do a random generator, if you don't mind, Lindsay.
Number? All right.
You can find out who won. Then if they could email me at crazyboutyarns with an S at gmail.com so I can get your contact information. That product. I didn't mention, I'm so sorry, I do free shipping to Canada and the US. I'll go over it more tomorrow. I know! I completely forgot to talk about it. So you will, the package that I will be shipping for the giveaway will be free. You don't have to pay for shipping. And then anything you do order will be shipped for free. Shipping is expensive. I actually do vacuum seal everything. I will go over that more tomorrow. The sample of that. I don't have it in the video, but yeah. Yes.
Sarah, so would you like to say maybe if you'd like to guess a number between 1 and 100, does that work for you, Sarah? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, so if you could guess a number between 1 to 100 and drop it in the chat.
So many
And
numbers.
Sarah,
Oh my goodness.
I just sent you the number it gave me.
Hey,
The closest. Let's see if anyone gets it. All right. Looks like we have our answers in, and it looks like Jennifer is closest
yeah.
with 18. The number was 16. Woohoo!
Jennifer, send me an email with your mailing.
And it's just Jennifer, not Jennifer Annette Lane. So I do want to clarify. So, sorry, Jennifer Annette Lane. I'm sorry. It's just Jennifer. So congratulations. And join us back tomorrow. We'll see Sarah again for her shopping adventure. And that'll be in a Blue Jeans room again, which is what this is, at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So I'm going to drop the link in here for Bonnie's event, which is coming up next at 6 p.m., which is Name That Stitch Marker Tune. And I'll give everyone a minute if you'd like to jump over there. Here is the link, and I'm going to drop the passcode in here as well for you. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
So if everyone would like to click on the Zoom link, and the password is down there as well, and head on over there, this room will be closing in 20 seconds.